This is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday to you. Jackie Schmelin here speaking because Lou Seipold has taken the day off because he was doing some racing last night. But no worries, we're still going to bring you everything you need to know when it comes to motorsports with today's Monday morning race review brought to you by Iowa Speedway. But special guest filling in for Lou this morning, Jerry Van Sickle, your voice at Boone Speedway, home of Super Nationals. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
You bet, Jackie.
All right, let's talk about what happened over the weekend.
A lot of great action this weekend. Of course, we started off Friday night at the Marshalltown Speedway where things, Thursday with all the tornadoes that come through, we decided that it was not the right time to race with the storm damage. Of course, we put out a press release that pretty much said, hey, there was tornadoes. It was police night. The Rumors Bar and Grill was hit. That was one of the many places in the community that was hit. So
and they were one of the main sponsors of the evening.
Yes, and took the night off and let everybody just wrap around the community itself and take care of everybody there. So we'll be back this next Friday night, but taking last Friday night off due to the weather. So
absolutely.
That moved us on into the Stewart Speedway, where they had a great car count, 123 cars over there for the D&E Memorial event. And then the Sport Compacts picking up the feature win on his 28th birthday was Curtis Miller, followed by Denny Burgon out of Nebraska and Nathan Castellano. Sport Mod feature went to Jake Sacco from Denison, Ethan Broxma, and Garrett Nelson. In the modifieds, it was Ricky Thornton Jr. picking up the win. Clint Llewellyn was second, Tim Ward third. Hobby stocks for the D&E Memorial was Brandon Cox, and that was a race. Jeremy Purdy led that thing most of the way. Cox, though, got him on the last 100 yards for the win, and Daniel Waters was third. Mike Nichols picked up his 29th win of the season, his 460th IMCA stock car win Friday night at Stewart. Jay Schmidt from Tama and Brandon Pruitt rounding out your top three. Moving on, just for a little further to the north along Highway 30, it was Iowa's Action Track for the Boone Speedway, where we saw 166 cars checked in. And what a night of racing it was, as rookie racer Tanner Gannon picked up the win. In the Mod Lights, the Stu Hansen Hyundai Mod Lights, Brian Ziem, Travis Stensland, your top three. It was $750 to win for the IMCA Elmquist Towing Sport Mods, and it was first time ever to the Speedway. Jared Boomeister out of Waseca, Minnesota, picking up the win over Thomas Egenberger and Jonathan Logue. In the Snap-on Tools IMCA Modifieds, Tony Hoffbauer's been out of a race car for 13 years, and he brought the lucky number 13 to victory lane. Ricky Thornton Jr. couldn't catch him to second, and Eric Elliott was third. Hobby stocks, we saw the Pickett Salvage Hobby stocks with Aaron Rudolph, Andrew Berg, and John Watson. Stock cars, Devin Smith, Cody Gustoff, and Josh Daniels. And Mike Hausman Jr. picked up the 305 Race Saver Sprint Car feature, followed by Tyler Thompson and Mike Johnson. Taking a look down at the Sprint Car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway, as they celebrate 65 years of racing down there at the Marion County Fairgrounds. And it was Casey's General Store night. We see a couple Casey's cars right up there front at the start of the 20-lap feature as Brian Brown gets to the bottom and makes a move there in that Casey's number 21. And here comes the 5 machine. Austin McCarl shoots by Brown for the lead, and then with a slide job, here comes Brown back to the inside, and they will race wing to wing down into turn number 1. What an event it was there. Going into the 7th lap, Brown is dealing with back markers and then runs into the back of the 10 car, and Austin McCarl once again makes the move back to the lead. And on circuit number 9, Austin McCarl is dealing with a lap car, getting there into turn number 3, and Brown regains the lead one more time off the bottom of turn 4. What a great race this was Saturday night for the folks at Casey's, having those 2 cars up there first and second. Chris McCarl then gets back to the 2 spot. Brown back to the race lead as they hurry down the back straightaway, working lap cars. And then McCarl once again with a big slider puts the old White Castle move on him down there, then gets into the cushion hard, using the fronts to keep that machine down the front straightaway. As they work there shortly after the restart, 2 cars upside down, a big one there in turn number 1 and 2. Both drivers able to walk away from that. Then it was back to green flag, where it was Brown and McCarl. As they done, there's the big slide job off of McCarl as they bring her on McCarl off of Brown. Of course, Brown, the 21 car out of Grain Valley, Missouri, always a contender there at the Knoxville Raceway. Some action back there for the 3rd and 4th position, as here comes Terry McCarl working Ian Matson in the 2 car. They get together. Matson loses a handle, puts her on the bike, puts it upside down right there under the Weld Racing sign in turn 4, and then late hit as the 71 of R.J. Johnson coming on in there, and lucky both drivers able to walk away after that wreck. But it was all Brian Brown bringing the FVP Casey's General Stores 21 down to victory lane. Great shot there on Casey's night from the Marion County Fairgrounds, as it was Colby Watts picking up the 305 feature, followed by Mayberry and Stelzer. In the 360, it was a great second generation driver, Joey Saldana, picking up the win over Corey Eliason and Sam Hetford Jr. In the 410s, we saw the highlights. It was Brian Brown, Austin McCarl, Corey Eliason, and Terry McCarl picking up your top 5. Moving into last night, where Lou was at up at the Sports Park Raceway in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Great night as the Carl Chevrolet dirt trucks were on hand up there. And in the stock cars, we saw him on Friday night pick up his 30th win of the season. He picked up his 30th win Sunday night at Sports Park, all tongue-tied here, as that was his 460th first career win for Mike Nichols in the stock cars. Sport Mods was David Calmer, Jason Bass, and Taylor Elliott. She was 3rd. The Sport Compacts, another feature win for Curtis Miller from Lewis, Iowa. Oliver Munson made the pull down from Clear Lake, and Lucas Jones your top 3. Ethan Dotson from Bakersfield, California picked up the modified feature win, followed by Kelly Shryock and Jeff James. And then the Hobby Stocks picked up his 11th straight hobby stock win at the Sports Park Raceway. He is undefeated. Shannon Anderson, Miles McHale, and Jeff Fink, your top 3. That moved us into the Carl Chevrolet dirt trucks, where it was Pat Graham picking up the win in the 1 truck. Miles McHale, we saw him with a good run in the hobby stocks, jumped in a dirt truck. Jeff Johnson driving the 23. Rick Clark, Jeff Frevert in the 5 spot. Lou, lucky number 7, comes there as a great night for the dirt trucks up to the Sports Park Raceway. Of course, the next stop for the Carl Chevrolet dirt trucks will be right with us at Iowa's Action Track on KCWI night during the first night of August. We start our hot August nights up there at Boone Speedway, so join us with the trucks up there. Taking a look, it's time to go national as we go to the National Series. And of course, the Xfinity Series was the Lake Regions 200 at the New Hampshire Speedway on Saturday. And we'll take a look at some highlights with a restart here on lap number 18. Brad Keselowski in the 22 had been dominating all day, but 23-year-old Christopher Bell in the 20 car. We'll see him start to make his way through the field with a little help from John Hunter Nemechek in the 42. Bell holds off the field, and not even Keselowski could track him down, and it's time for the smoke show and cut some donuts in that 20 car as C. Bell saw him grow up on the dirt tracks. Of course, he was part of the broadcast for the dirt derby at the Eldora Speedway out there celebrating. And, well, it takes a lot to get one of those Sunoco checkered flags, and Christopher Bell says, hey, I'm going to give this to one lucky race fan and make his day, and tell you that's something they'll cherish forever. As C. Bell with the win. Brad Keselowski goes 2nd. Ryan Piercy in 3rd, John Hunter Nemechek 4th, and Matt Tifft round out your top 5. Justin Allgaier has been on the show, running in the number 7 spot. So a great day for the trucks, and of course the next stop, or for the Xfinity Series, next stop for the Xfinity Series will be the U.S. Cellular 250 presented by the Rasmussen Group at the Iowa Speedway, and that of course will be on July 28th with green flag and opening ceremonies at 4 p.m. So make sure and join the Xfinity Series at the Iowa Speedway. Also that weekend, Friday night action will be under the lights for the Casey's General Stores NASCAR K&N Pro Series. That'll be Friday night at 7 p.m. And like we said, the U.S. Cellular 250 presented by the Rasmussen Group. And of course, after the Friday night, it'll be Dylan Scott in concert right there over off of turn number 4. So it'll be a great weekend for things at the Iowa Speedway here this coming weekend. Moving on to the ARCA Series, they were supposed to race at the Berlin Raceway, but up there in Marne, Michigan. But, well, as you can see, tents were up and the rain was heavy, so that race has been scheduled to August 25th for the ARCA Series as they will move on. Taking a look more national stuff, the Craftsman Tools World of Outlaws. We're at the famed Williams Grove Speedway for 2 nights of racing in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, where it was the Pennsylvania Posse driver, Lance Deweese, picking up the win over the guy who is unstoppable anywhere in a sprint car, Donnie Schatz. Brian Monteith was third, fourth, Greg Hodnett, and that was a great show for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series at the Williams Grove Speedway. Of course, night number 2, though, not so great, as rains came through the eastern part of the country and knocked out the show at Williams Grove, the famed half-mile out there in Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Posse, though, picking up the win over the World of Outlaw regulars. Then it was on to the NASCAR series, the big shows in town, the 301 Foxwood Resort and Casino race. And then taking a look at the results, it was Kevin Harvick over Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was in Boone on Saturday. Well, not that Kyle Busch. Eric Armorillo coming home in the 3rd spot. Martin Truex Jr. was 4th. Chase Elliott. Ryan Blaney was 7th. And some other notables. Landon Castle from just over the road in Cedar Rapids coming home in the 37th finishing position. That was a great race out there in New Hampshire. Then it was on to 2 lanes of straight line racing for the Dodge Mile High Nationals, powered by Mopar at the Brandenmere Speedway in Morrison, Colorado. We're taking a winners. It was Hector Arion Jr., Greg Anderson, John Force picked up his 149th championship run, and Leah Pritchard, all winners at the Mile High Nationals presented by Mopar in Colorado. Well, that pretty much wraps things up. It was a great weekend of racing. There was a lot that happened, not only local and national, but of course, don't forget this. The final weekend at the Iowa Speedway, Jackie, is this weekend. The K&N Pro Series, along with the Xfinity races. I know we went out to the IndyCar race, and that was what a great weekend. And the folks are going to be seeing more of that this weekend at the Iowa Speedway.
Absolutely. Friday and Saturday, you'll be hearing Lou's voice out on the microphone. I'll be singing the national anthem Friday as well, so we hope you can make it out to Iowa Speedway for more great racing. And of course, that was your Monday morning race review brought to you by the Iowa Speedway. Jerry Van Sickle, appreciate you filling in. Your announcer from Bruton Speedway and the home of Super